Hi guys, this is a special video where I wanted to introduce to you one of my new support people. Her name is Kiriana.
Hi.
And I thought it would be fun to have a bit of a getting to know each other kind of game. So we're both going to share 5 fun or weird facts or stories about ourselves.
Okay, so my first weird fact is that when I was younger, I was in the shower and I slipped over and I actually dislocated my shoulder. And instead of panicking about it, my elbow was in front of my face. And so I licked my elbow, and I can now tell people that I've been able to lick my elbow in the past.
My first fact is that my left eye is actually a false eye. I had to have it removed when I was about 18 months old because of cancer, and since then I've actually had to change my false eye about 5 times. But what people also don't know is that I've actually kept the false eyes, and I kept them in a little bag for party trips.
My second fact is that I went whitewater rafting in Ecuador, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, and it was a little bit more extreme than the rafting I'd done in New Zealand. It ended up that our boat flipped and I got stuck under the boat, and the boat filled up with water and I couldn't get out because I was wearing a life jacket. And it was initial panic, but instead of panicking about the situation, I found that it was strangely quite peaceful, and I sort of just lay there until a girl actually saved me, and I owe her heaps for that.
My second weird fact about me is that I have metal down my spine from the surgery when I was 10 and surgery from when I was a baby, and my hips. So some of my friends call me the bionic woman, but when I go through a metal detector, I don't think I actually set off the metal detecting machines, which I find really strange.
So my third fact is that from about the age of 10, I started seeing like a tall dark figure at my doorway in my bedroom, and I always thought it was a ghost, and it always really scared me. And that wasn't really too weird until when I moved out, my sister moved into that bedroom, and I'd never told her about it, and she started seeing the exact same thing as well, a dark figure standing at the doorway of our bedroom. So that's a little bit creepy, and we try not to talk about that too much because it freaks us out.
Okay, my third fact is that, similar to Kiriana's story, I had a really creepy experience when I was a teenager where I had this dream about this really scary kind of pirate captain, and he was in a storm and it was all like really scary and loud and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden I woke up and there was actually a storm outside as well. And for like about 5 seconds when I first woke up, I actually thought I could see this really spooky captain guy from my dream standing in my doorway across the room from me, and I was absolutely terrified. And I just like lay there and stared for like a few seconds and then closed my eyes, and I wouldn't open my eyes again until I had gone back to sleep because I just didn't want the chance of seeing that scary character again.
My fourth fact is that I, after a party or after a couple of drinks, have a tendency to want to sleep outside. My most memorable occasion that I've slept outside has been, I was really determined. We have a very long, steep driveway, and I walked all the way up there in my heels and in my dress with a blanket, a block of cheese, and a bottle of Bacardi for protection in case something happened to me. And my partner found me with all of these bite marks taken out of this block of cheese and dragged me back down into bed.
The fourth fact is that when I was about 10 years old, I was at the Starship Children's Hospital in Auckland, and Michael Jackson actually was in New Zealand on his tour, and he came and visited the hospital, and I actually almost got to meet him. So that was a really strange experience. I was being only a few people away from this person that's so famous. It is really kind of intimidating to the 10-year-old me.
Fifth and last fact is that my family has this weird kind of genetic condition where we all get like a twitchy chin. So whenever I get excited, like I'm playing a game or something like that, my chin starts twitching, and so does my brothers, my mum, my sister and my grandfather. And one time I got a pinched nerve somehow in my face, so my chin wouldn't stop twitching for over 2 weeks, and I was worried that it would never stop twitching, and that was really embarrassing for me going through high school. Okay.
Fifth fact or story is that I've been abseiling. It was on a children's camp for our primary school, and I was absolutely terrified. More terrified than a dream, more terrified than when I was actually going to meet Michael Jackson, and it was the closest I ever had to actually having a tantrum. But my parents and my teacher were really, really determined that I should do exactly what everybody else was doing, and I did. And it's kind of one of those moments where at the time I was really not impressed about the situation, but now I can kind of look back on it and say it was pretty crazy but pretty cool experience. So I'm pretty glad that I did it actually. I hope you guys all have a really good week. I hope you've learned a few things about my crazy life and my new friend Kariana. And I'll talk to you all next time. Bye.